Biloxi blues, it happens every night. And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine. The summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time. This highway does not know my name, and I don't care, no, I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Well, what is going on? Welcome back to the second coming of the Fish Life Podcast. We got a different co-host this week. My boy
Z-Dub in the house.
Zack Watts is here live with us. Chris had some family stuff going on, couldn't be here, couldn't make it this week, and we're sending prayers up for Chris. I know he's going through a little bit of a tough time, so y'all think about him. Drop him a comment down below. We want to get Chris. Actually, he'll be back on next week's podcast, I'm pretty sure. So, Chris, we're thinking about you, buddy. We wish all the best for what's going on with your family, dude. Zeta, it's good to have you. This is your first time on this version of the Fish Life Podcast.
First time on the newly renovated,
That's right.
often imitated, but never duplicated Fish Life Podcast.
The podcast's so nice, we had to start it twice, baby. Man, it's it's a great time of year as a fisherman because we're in that magical window where things are starting to happen a little bit. We had some unbelievable footage this week from just an amazing day. We got that right warming trend day, warm night, warm day, cloud cover. And so the footage we put out from the on the water videos this week was just some of the best we've ever gotten to capture, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we whacked them and stacked them. Brandon Dillard, shout out to him for coming with us. Big shout out to Luke Duncan. That music y'all heard in the intro, I always forget to say that. But Luke has been so gracious to allow us to use his music.
Oh, Luke can wail it out, can't he?
Luke can let it rip. Talking about this highway. He don't know his name. He don't know my name either, for the record. But no, that's great. I really like Luke's music. Y'all can check that out. It's available in iTunes or anywhere you want to buy music. It's out there. Just look up Luke Duncan, Dunkin. One thing we do want to remind you guys of as well, we don't have viewer questions this week because Chris isn't here and he's the one that organizes all that. But we want to answer. We'll answer every viewer question. We'll never leave one unanswered. So if you have a topic, something you want us to discuss, or any questions about anything, text it to the number on the screen, 903-519-1542. And we would love to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Sounds good to me, brother.
Mm-hmm. Hey, like we said, the fishing, we had a great week now. We had great video content this week now. It has not been nearly as easy since because after that warming trend, it got real cold.
Man, that's the thing about this time of year. You can,
ebbs and flows.
It's up and down, but man, you can, to me, this time of year, more than any time of year, you can really predict and say, man, I'm about to whack them today.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you'll have a week of nights in the 30s, and then you'll have 4 or 5 days where nights are in the 50s and 60s, and on that third day, I'm about to put a hurting on them.
Coming.
And a perfect example, y'all did that week.
And we showed up that morning, and we even said it in the intro. This is going to get real good real quick because of what was going on, and boy, we were right. I mean, it went awesome. Now, the other thing that's cool about the predictability of this time of year is even when it is tough. So, yesterday when I was on the water, it's super, super cold. So it was like the coldest morning we've had in a couple weeks. And we knew it was going to be tougher. But we also knew all those fish that had pushed up and got shallow, they all sucked back into one area. Even though the bite was slower, we didn't catch near as many fish as we did on that real good day. We were still able to stay in those areas, fish those areas super slow and methodical, and it was very predictable. We knew we were going to catch them on jerkbait. We knew we were going to catch them on a little trap. We knew if we slowed down with a weightless bait of some kind, stick bait, a wacky worm, we could catch them. We just had to slow down and fish methodical, and we were going to get less bites. We knew that going in. The beauty of it is it is very, very predictable this time of year. And fishing's never a sure thing, Mm-hmm. Some days they bite better than others, and some days you catch them, some days you don't. But they don't always read the same books we read, you know what I mean?
They don't at all.
But this time of year they seem to read better than
they
they
do. On them Ebonics books or something. They ain't on my books.
Yeah, the Ebonics books, yeah. They're on something else sometimes, but this time of year they seem to be a lot more predictable. And some of the biggest bags of the year get caught this time of year because all these female bass, these larger bass, they're all pregnant, that they're eating more.
And
so
big girls get hungry and crave. Hey, they crave stuff. Yeah. Sometimes they crave the wacky worm. Sometimes they crave the jerk bait. Sometimes they crave the chatter. You just, man, them damn females.
I'll tell you, they can't make their mind up for nothing. That's right. That being said, it's also the start of major tournament season. We said last podcast, we said that the FLW tournament was going on when that one aired. We were wrong. The first FLW Tour event is happening today. It just started today.
The day
that we're filming this, which y'all will be seeing this on Friday. So yeah, that tournament will be going. Actually, it starts tomorrow. I don't know. It starts this week. It's this weekend. The one that was last weekend was the first BASS Open. So the major tournaments is kicked off now. You know, last week I went in and Z, you've known me. You're my best friend. You're like my brother from another mother. I call your dad. Like, you know, that's how we are. So you know me as well as just about anybody on earth. And you know, folks at home, I may seem happy-go-lucky on camera, but there is a little bit of a temperamental side to old Billy Lawson. I can get a little angry at times.
This dude's got the shortest fuse that I know.
I don't think that my fuse is short necessarily. Like, I think the fuse is pretty long.
No, you're right. The fuse is long, but when the fuse hits the firecracker,
it's just attached to a big bomb.
It ain't an M80. It's one of them long pack of black cats. That's Billy right there.
When it goes, it goes. And I kind of went on a pretty good rant about tournament fishing and what's going on. And I'm not backing off anything that I said in any way. I feel very strongly about everything that I said last week. But I will say this: after editing that, watching it, I kind of cringed a little bit when I posted it because, like, man, I went in pretty hard. But I meant everything that I said. But we kind of went off like I don't like either professional tour. That's not true. I'm a fishing fan. I love Bassmasters. I think it's flawed in the back end of it in a lot of ways. I love MLF. I love the players that are involved in MLF. I think it's flawed in the format. Everything that I said, I believe in. That being said, I don't hate either one of them. I still love both of them. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I kind of came across like I didn't like either one of them. And it's just not true. I like both of them a lot. I watch all of it. So, now the funny thing about that is the man right here to my left, ZW, who is into bass fishing as anybody I know. We've spent I don't know how many hours on the water together. You love it. You never get tired of it.
I sure don't.
You don't watch any of it.
I don't watch it.
What's the deal?
I'm better than all them guys. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Look, man. I ask myself this: I could sit here and watch a fishing show, or I can go out and get on the water.
Yeah.
And I just soon be out on the water. I don't get anything out of watching guys in a tournament format catch fish. Now, what I will watch your instructional. And I'm old school. I'm talking about your Bill Dances, your Roland Martins. You know, that's what I grew up on. But
Absolutely.
I am not going to sit there and just watch some guys fish a tournament. I mean, that's like going to watch a little league game and you ain't even got a kid playing. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
want to watch Little League baseball if my kid ain't playing. I know that.
Well, I mean, I would. So if you talk about watching a tournament fishing show, MLF, BASS. Now, I will watch like the BASS Classic. Maybe I won't sit and watch it, but I'll flip over to it.
Get the Cliff Notes
what's
version.
going on,
Yeah.
and then maybe the final weigh-in.
The Cliff Notes version.
That will
Right.
interest me. But to sit and watch guys fish all day, I just soon have somebody come paint my walls and sit and watch them like this all day.
Yeah. And that's an interesting perspective because, for years, forever and ever, amen, the biggest thing that got people excited about the sport, or the biggest product to consume as a spectator or a fan of the sport, has always been tournament fishing. Nowadays, there's a little bit of everything. You can watch nothing but instructional content on 8 million different YouTube channels or whatever you want to do. So there's kind of unlimited amounts of content, and you can pick and choose whatever you want. But it's interesting to hear from a guy that's literally been into bass fishing his whole life. Your entire life you've been into it. That's an interesting perspective for sure.
Well, here's something else too: is I don't fish tournaments.
Right.
I have fished 2 tournaments in my life.
Right.
2. One of them, I got talked into fishing a tournament by this moron a couple days ago, Okay.
Which you guys are going to see on the channel.
You guys will see that on video coming up. Newsflash, didn't go well. The other tournament, the only other tournament I fished in my life, I met this idiot. Right.
Another idiot talked to you in the fishing. Oh, wintertime tournament.
It was a wintertime tournament. And listen, I'll be honest with you, that was, D-Dub, O-D-Y, D-Dub was coming up. He was getting into fishing. I said, man, you want to fish a tournament? I wouldn't have fished that tournament if it hadn't been for him.
Well, hold on now. You fished one more, though.
Oh, that's right. Me and you fished that.
You fished 3.
That's right. So I didn't really consider that a tournament because, I mean, we dominate. I mean, is it a tournament when you dominate?
So we've got to tell the story.
Look, if I'm in a home run derby and I hit 32 home runs and my opponent hits 1, is that really a home run derby? It's not. It's a you know what that is? That's a showcase, baby.
A showcase.
And so I've got 2 tournaments and a showcase.
That was a DJ Z-Dub MCB Law showcase.
We did it to him, son. We did it to him.
We had a good. Well, the funny thing. So we got to tell that story. So the first tournament you fished, you just randomly found back in the day before I was guiding.
Yeah.
I would, when I wasn't fishing some other tournament or whatever. A lot of times I would host tournaments.
Yeah.
I would just
little potluck
say
tournament.
I'd post it on different social media outlets and be like, hey, I'm gonna do open jackpot, $50 entry.
That's right.
No real rules. Just show up, have fun, and fish.
And I thought that'd be
100% payout. I wasn't making any money off of it. And so you saw that and thought it'd be a good, relaxed, fun atmosphere to bring Dylan out, who was about like 12 years old.
He's about 11 or 12 years old. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to go sign us up for McDonald's or Skeeter Owners or
Didn't
something
want to
like
fish
that.
like a big official deal.
Let me kind of get his feet with, hey, this is a tournament. This is kind of how a tournament works. I know all tournaments work different, but then again, they all kind of work the same. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of introduce him to the world of tournament fishing.
And so I was hosting a little do nothing open jackpot random, and it was on Lake Hallbrook. And you messaged me through a social media platform that I posted it on, and you said, "Hey, I've never been to this lake. I'm going to bring my son to fish this tournament." And you said, I don't want your spots or anything, but can you give me some type of clue of what I'm looking at on this lake? And what
yeah, hey, he sent me a list of hey, these baits are good on this lake. Look for these kinds of, and not necessarily go to this particular area. Look for these kind of areas. Try these different baits. I've caught fish on all of them, so on and so forth. Really helped us out.
The color, the size. I mean, I gave you all
everything. I mean, he literally told me watermelon red brush hog. Something this color fluke, this color, whatever.
I wanted to put that in there because I want people to know that even before this was my job, before this was what I was doing to make a living, what I do on our channel as far as offering instructional advice and trying to help others catch fish, that's just what I like to do. Mm-hmm. Even when I was competing against this guy, he was signing up to compete against me in a tournament that I was putting on, I still wanted to help him. And I just want to put that out there because it's real. It's real. You know this because you've known me forever. It is very real. I've always been that way. Before it was about trying to grow a business or get views or anything. All I did when I started making content was I did what I wanted to do and let the people judge. And if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I've never chased the clicks. I've never tried to target trending topics in a major way, which is what you're supposed to do if you're making a living on social media. I've never set out to do that. I always wanted to do it about what I was passionate about. So, and I'm kind of proud of myself because I feel like we've done that. Pretty good job of sticking true to what I believe in and what I want to do. So anyways, side rant there, chase the squirrel for a little bit. But so y'all come out and fish this tournament and we get to weigh in, and I've never met Zach before this day. This was the day we met. And we come to weigh in and we're weighing in, and Dylan and you weighed in pretty early, and Dylan had a big fish that day.
Yeah.
I don't remember how big it was, but he had a big fish. It was like 6 pounds or something like that.
I think it was like 7.2 and 7.31. But
so what happened was Dylan had big fish, and we weighed in everybody, and Dylan had big fish. The very last team,
that came in,
they didn't even have but one fish.
That's it.
And they pulled this fish out, and Dylan lost big fish by an ounce.
1 ounce.
So here's this kid, good kid, polite. This the most polite, I don't know how he turned out this way. The most polite, well-mannered,
take after his mama,
young man I've ever seen. Well, I've met her. I don't think that's the case either. But we love you. I love you, T. I'm sorry. Anyway, this polite, awesome kid that I'm kind of, falling in love with this kid as I meet him. He's just an awesome kid, and he likes fishing and hunting. And we're talking about fishing and hunting. He's a baseball kid, so I dig this kid. And he loses by an ounce, and I look at him and I see that look on his face, that disappointed look on his face. And so I went and I go to my boat and I start grabbing bags of baits.
Sure did.
And I walked back over there and I made like an announcement for second place in big fish, which wasn't even a thing.
Right.
But we made it a thing, and I handed Dylan a bunch of baits as a consolation prize for second place big fish. And that's the day we met.
Well, and
that's how we met.
It says a lot about the fishing community and who you are, because everybody that was there to weigh in saw the same disappointment
they were all
in Dylan's eyes.
Him, yeah.
They got it, when you created this second place for big fish.
They all platformed a lot.
Yeah,
he got the biggest applause.
He did, and turns out, remember, he actually broke the lake record for Holbrook for youth.
Yeah, the junior
big fish.
We didn't know it at the time.
No, we didn't know it at the time, and we didn't certify it registered or nothing. But we went back and looked at it. I tell you what kind of dude this is. We met online. He told me what baits to throw. I met him at the tournament, and we kind of went our separate ways. I didn't expect to hear from B-Law. On Wednesday of that week, he sends me an email. He goes, "Hey, man, your son broke the youth lake record." I didn't even know to look into that. B-Law did. B-Law, he went out of his way to let me know that. And he even offered to drive to Athens to have his scales certified. Yeah. And I said, "Man, don't worry about it. Just, I appreciate you letting us know. Dylan will get a kick out of that," so on and so forth. So, that's just more of, another example of what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Like in movies, these chick flicks, these girls, they talk about these meet cutes. Like, we got the ultimate bromance meet cute right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that I just said that I know what a meet cute is, I'm kind of embarrassed a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
I never heard of that.
Of course you didn't. I wouldn't admit that I had either if I hadn't just done it. I really don't know. I'm regretting this at the moment.
Hell, you've been hanging out with
I'm regretting this a lot as this unfolds. I'm really feeling not great about this moment. Okay, moving on. Oh, and then, so let's tell the story of the tournament that me and you fished, because that was a good story too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this was another one of your potluck tournaments.
Okay, yeah, It was on Lake Holbrook again.
It was again on Lake Holbrook, and man, we were all looking. Me and Dylan was looking forward to this tournament because Dylan
was fishing with his
by
boat.
This time, this was probably a year later.
It was a few years later.
2 years later, Dylan had his own boat.
Yeah,
and he had his own fishing partner.
Little aluminum boat.
That's right.
That old tan that you got from Robbie.
That's right.
You bought that from Robbie. Yeah.
R.I.P. Brother Rob. So yeah. Dylan's got his own partner. Me and B-Law's fishing, and man, it was a great week. What happens to weekend tournaments by Thursday or Friday? Boom! Massive front rolls in, dude.
Evil cold front.
I think it was bad. I think we launched. It was 19 degrees or something like that. It was stupid.
Well, I know it felt like that for sure because what it was I know the highs for that day were in the low 40s. It was a little bit moist in the air, a little bit misty, a little bit hazy, real cloudy, no sun, and the wind was blowing out of the northwest like it's hard, like 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds.
Yeah, it was awful.
Stupid cold. And I told Zach going in that tournament, I said, I don't know how many we're going to catch, but we're going to keep that jig in our hand all day. And when we get a bite, it'll be a good one. Even if we only catch a few, we might win big fish out of this deal anyway, right? That was kind of our strategy.
That was our plan going in.
That was our strategy. And we go out there. Sure enough, I caught a good one off the bat. And then like a couple hours later, maybe an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, something like that, you caught a really big one. And at this point, we were so cold. And all we had was 2 fish.
That's it.
Now, they were 2 big ones. We had about 13 pounds on them 2 fish. But we were like, man, I know we've got a chance to win this tournament, but I'm hurting, dude. And so we said, okay, let's go get out of this wind. We had some sandwiches.
That's right.
We said, hey, let's go tuck behind this dock over here and get out of this wind and just take a break from the cold and try to warm up a little bit and eat this food and settle in a little bit. So we pull over behind that dock, and as we were sitting there at that dock, we kind of looked at each other like, bro, the truck's like right around the corner.
Yeah, it's literally around the point.
So we actually went and sat in the truck, got in the heater to eat those sandwiches and warm up and thaw out. We ended up staying in that truck for like 2 hours.
To wait in?
Just sitting there. We went back out for a little bit. We ended up going back out. But we did go back out, but it wasn't for long. Like, we spent half of our day in the truck.
I think we finally looked at each other and said, dude, we got about 40, 45 minutes to weigh in. Let's just go bang it out and try to catch one more fish and come back.
And we went back out. We ended up not catching any more fish. And we come to weigh in like, we got a good shot at big fish. We'll see what happens, blah, blah, blah. We get there. Nobody's got any fish, dude. Like, one guy brought in 1 fish. One guy brought in 2. One guy brought in... Nobody had fish. A lot of guys had 0. And Dylan shows up. Dylan and his buddy had the only limit.
They had a limit of, the day of 2-pounders.
And they had 5 fish for 10 pounds or something, if I remember correctly. There, yeah. And we weighed them, and they're all excited. They think they've won. And then I go, hold on. Me and your dad ain't weighed in yet. They go, what do y'all got? I say, oh, we only caught 2. So now they're excited again. And about that time, Z-Dub reaches and drags this whole head of lava. That one you caught, the biggest one, like 7, 8 pounder, whatever it was. Pulls it out, and they go, oh, crap. Again, that same look on their face from a few years ago. That's right. Dylan got that look on his face again. And we weighed our 2 fish for like 13 pounds. So we won a tournament with 2 fish.
We did.
Which is a pretty rare thing. Pretty cool. So I don't know if that was really as dominant as you made it out to be in the beginning. But we did win. And we won big fish.
If we go to the stat sheet, it said we dominated. I mean, when you win a bass tournament by more than 5 pounds.
Yeah, you win the tournament and you win big fish.
Yeah. Tournament, big fish, domination.
And we really did dominate because we spent half the day in the truck. God, so we only fished for half the time as everybody else. And so it is, I take that back. It was definitely domination because we won the tournament, we won big fish, we won by a few pounds. We fished half as long as everybody else. We didn't even need half the day.
Well, we didn't have near the equipment that we have nowadays.
Oh, no.
Dude, I think I was out there in something like this. Just a sweatshirt and some pants.
We were hurting, bro.
We didn't have our big coveralls that we have now.
That was in your old Express.
The old Express. Yeah.
Sure was.
The windowless Express.
The windowless Express. Oh, there's another story we can get into sometime. Yeah, the dash windshield on the Express went missing after yours truly hung out in Zach's boat one day. But whole nother story. Oh, man.
I get back out to the camp, and I take the cover off the boat, and I'm looking at the boat. I'm like, something. And I circled the boat 3 or 4 times. I look at the motor. I look at the steering wheel. I look at the dash. I'm like, something ain't right. Something's missing. Wow, the damn windshield's gone. What happened to my windshield?
I broke it, so I took it off. And then I was like, I'm getting you a new one. I'm getting you a new. You're like, nah, I like it better without it.
Yeah, it looked cool without it.
And you rode around with no windshield for the rest of that boat.
Straight necking, baby. That's how I do it. Yeah. Neck life.
So I had what happened there, because I feel like we can't tell them all that and not just tell the story.
You got to tell the story.
Because not only did I break your windshield, I broke your net at the same time. So I had a knee issue going on, and my knee was like swollen like crazy, and I couldn't bend it all the way. I didn't have full mobility. My knee was real swollen. And for those that don't know, I have quite a few knee issues. I've had several knee surgeries. So at that time, for whatever reason, I think I played in a softball game or something and kind of banged it up again, and it was hurt. I think that's what happened, but it was really, really swollen, and I didn't have a lot of mobility in my knee. And I tried to go from the bottom deck, because we had the boat full of junk like we always do. I tried to go from the bottom of the floor to the back deck by stepping over the seat. And I was already kind of pot committed.
The weight was already going
forward. That way, but my knee wouldn't bend enough to get over that seat. And then I fell backwards, stomped on your net, broke that.
Snapped that in half.
Fell on the dashboard and broke the windshield. Basically, I dang near got a plastic windshield up my rear end. Broke that.
Lucky it didn't cut you. Honestly, the way you landed on it and the way it broke.
Yeah, it was pretty rough moment. But yeah, that was certainly my most clumsy moment. But other than the time that I fell in the water while I was power pulled down, that was. People ask me, "Hey, you ever fallen in?" Yeah, I sure did while I was power pulled down. It's the only time I've ever fallen in. I've been in 3-footers, standing on one leg, running trolling motor all day. Never go in. Power pulled down, sitting still, take a dive, bro.
I wish my story was that simple.
Yeah. You know, this is fun doing this with you because we're getting to kind of walk down memory lane of all the stupid crap we've done together. We say it all the time. It's a good thing we didn't meet when we were 20. We wouldn't have made it.
I don't know if we'd be here.
We wouldn't have made it. There's no chance we'd have made it. No doubt about it.
We'd either fought each other or fought everybody.
That's true.
I mean, you know.
Probably both. Yes is the answer. Yes is the answer.
Hey, it'd be, you know them kind of fights when you're a little kid. We'd have fought when we're 25 and beat the living dog out of each other and got up and bro hugged it out and said, all right, let's go to the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's how we'd have been.
And then got to fight with somebody else.
Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I don't even want to think about the possibility. I'm glad I wasn't in my 40s yet, I don't think. I'm glad I was upper 30s.
That's right. Yeah. It's a good thing we met after we were grown with kids and responsibilities to keep us in line a little bit.
Somewhat, yeah.
There's a little bit of wild hair in this pairing here that can get a little loose sometimes in this group. But that's okay, man. It makes it fun. You know what I mean? So, you not following all the tournament scene as much as you do, you won't know this, but we aired that video where I went off on the MLF format and BASS and how they screwed it all up to begin with, and because that is one thing I want to make clear. I know I went in real hard on MLF last week, but BASS is no angel. They're the reason all this stuff happened. They're the reason the whole industry of tournament fishing got turned on its head, is because of the way BASS operated and didn't take care of their anglers for so many years. That's what caused all of this. So I went in on all of that, and literally as that podcast was being recorded, MLF announced a rule change, and you can see what they're doing. They're trying to eliminate the Dinkfest reputation that they've gotten as far as catching a bunch of 1-pounders, because they have a 1 pound minimum to make it a scoreable bass. And so what they've done is this year they've created a schedule where they're going to a lot of big fish lakes, which is good. I'm glad they're doing that. But they're going away from number lakes and going to big fish fisheries, which is how professional fishing should be. They should go to the best fisheries, in my opinion, right. The best trophy fisheries. And so I like that. And what they've also done now is they've created a variable minimum, where the minimum for a scoreable bass
is going to be a certain
can change from tournament to tournament. So like the first tournament's on Lake Eufaula, they're doing a 2 pound minimum. Hey, that's a big minimum now. That's a big minimum. You know, you can catch a 14-incher most places that's a 1.5 pound fish.
That's right.
Or maybe less sometimes. But so a 2 pound minimum, that's going to make your keepers bigger. And when they go to fork, it might be 3 or 4 pound minimum. I don't know.
So they're going to slide that. It's going to adjust.
Variable. They can change it at every tournament. So I would love to diving into this, exploring it in your head. It's going to keep things interesting to see what they do. I do agree with that. That like if they come to fork and they say, okay, it's 5 pound minimum, boys. Hey, now we're talking, Jack. Because we all know it's going to take more than 25 pounds a day to win. You know, it's going to take more. Like if you have a best 5 tournament at Fork on March, it's going to take a lot more than a 5 pound average on your best 5 to win. So if they come to fork and they're like, hey, let's make it a 5 pound minimum. Let's get weird. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now it's going to get fun. Because now they have to target big fish the whole time. And you get to count every one. So if you catch 15 5-pounders, well, you've got, what is that?
Yes.
75 pounds, that would be fun. And then you mix in some 8s and 9s, and like Fork's going to do, it'll kick out some double-digit fish in that deal. If those guys target bigger fish, Fork will produce 10 pounders in that tournament. It will.
Absolutely.
Somebody will run into one. There's too many of them get caught that time of year out there. And someone probably will, even if they don't raise it that high. But if they go to Fork and it's like a 3 pound minimum or a 2 pound minimum, man, I'm still out. Like, I don't think this variable minimum solves the problem. The problem is the truest test of angling is to catch the biggest fish you can in a reasonable number of them. Make it a 5-fish limit, a 10-fish limit. I don't care. At some point, you need to start culling little fish out and trying to upgrade your catch. That is the truest test of the sport, in my opinion. We all know, I don't think anybody would argue this. What's harder, catching 4 2-pounders or catching 1 8-pounder? What's more rare? What's harder?
1 8-pounder. 1
8-pounder. So if you got a 2 pound minimum, there's still going to be dudes going out there catching as many numbers as they can, trying to rack up 2-pounders, because that's the best way to rack up your weight. Because it's easier to catch 4 2s than 1 8. At some point, they've got to realize that they took something that wasn't broken, and they're trying to prove the shit.
Easy, hand. Easy. The crappy.
The sorry part about this situation is they're trying to make this format work. This every fish counts format works out of spite. They're just doing it out of ego and spite, where they're trying to prove that they know a better way to operate tournaments than Bass does, and they're trying to prove that they're right and Bassmaster's wrong. And it's just become this ego-driven, spite-driven thing. And listen, I get it, man. Fishing does have a lot of egos in it. There's a lot of myth to fishing. There's a lot of, there's some businesses that operate in the fishing business that are, it's kind of built on a house of cards, like it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's people that stress the truth in fishing. That's part of it. And so, I'm losing my train of thought here, but
egos.
I've been down that road where people are operating off of ego, and I have been very tempted and wanted to do things out of spite and issues with other guys in the business.
And that's what you're seeing going on here.
And I wanted to do that, but what I know is that for me and what I've seen in my lifetime, that is never a good, healthy thing. Nothing good ever comes of that. And if you operate from a good place and do things, do the right thing for the right reasons, so to speak, you're operating from, like with what we do, we try to really concentrate on, helping each other catch more and bigger fish and loving our fellow man. That's what we've always said. It's what I want to stand for. It's what I want to do. It's what we've always tried to do on this channel. It's never been about, well, I want to go after this guy and I want to hurt him because he made me mad. And that's what's going on with these two tours. MLF is trying to hurt Bass because Bass made him mad. And Bass is, I think, doing things better now. They definitely were wrong for a long time in a lot of things they did. But it seems like Bassmaster in the last 12 months, they changed their entry fees for their guys. They've changed the payouts. They've done things. They changed their scheduling. Those guys had a lot of issues with scheduling. Bassmaster would schedule things around holiday times when people want to be with their family, and now those guys are out of state. And they've changed a lot of those things to take better care of their anglers. And Bass seems to be operating from a place of we're doing the right thing for the right reasons now, or they're trying to do it that way now. And MLF just keeps coming with this. We're going to show you that you're wrong, and we're going to tear you. We're going to take you out. We're going to tear your business down. Don't tear anybody's business down. Listen, we all in business, whatever job you're in, we all want to have the biggest building on the street. If you're competitive, you're ambitious, you want to be. I want to have the most successful guide business on Lake Fork. I do. I absolutely do. I think every other guide out there wants to do that as well. The deal is I want to build the biggest building because I built the biggest building, not because I tore that guy's building down. So now mine's bigger. And MLF is trying to tear the other guy's building down, and that's not okay. It's what's making people angry with them. And at the end of the day, I'm going round in circles here, but the problem is if you don't make those guys try to catch bigger fish by culling smaller ones out, you're not putting the best fishermen on earth to the best test. It'd be like having Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, and Vlad Jr. and some heavy baseball players, some heavy home run hitters, and we're going to go to a home run derby and have them hit off a tee. Like that's what it's like. It's not the best test. It's not. Thoughts? Throw something in there, Z.
I'm sorry. Were you talking about? I've been daydreaming. He goes off like this sometimes, and sometimes it's best to just tune him out. Sometimes.
It's become more of a regular thing.
No, I get it, man. I mean, I 100% agree that if I did watch that crap, I would want to see your top guys targeting, the top fish in the lake. I sat there and watched Kevin Van Dam but he found a certain spot on the river, and he was just boom. He caught 35 fish, and not a one of them was over 2.5 pounds. Yeah. But with his total weight and everything, right. He didn't win it. He was able to advance. Right. Okay. And I see who.
Well, Edwin Evers at their year-end championship pulled up in a creek that was full of 1.5-pounders and dumped the clutch on him and ran away from the rest of the field.
Right. Yeah. And then you have a guy over here, who's caught 5, 3.5 to 6 pound fish, and he's like in 4th place. Yeah. To me, the guy that caught the 3.5 to 6 pound fish had the better day. Yeah. Let me rephrase that. Not by their standards, he had a better day. I'm looking at this. If I was the fisherman out on that body of water, what would I want to do? I'd want to catch 5 3.5 to 6 pound fish rather than 20 1.5 to 2 pound fish. Well, that's me. That's just my own personal feelings.
And listen, there's going to be some people out there that are like, no, I want to set the hook. I want to catch more. And that's like, I get that. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about competition at the highest level of anything, Like, I want to see Randy Johnson go up against, I don't know, whoever. You know, give me a big home run here. Who's the best? I want to see Garrett Cole and Mike Trout. You know what I mean? Like, that's the matchup I want to see. I don't want to see
Nolan Ryan versus Mark McGwire.
A couple of minor leaguers, you know. I want to see the people that are the best. When you're talking about the highest level competition, I want to see the very best in the game get put to the very toughest test. The challenge is why we watch. It's why it catches our attention. It's why it holds our attention, is because it is hard to accomplish. And so we are somewhat in awe of these people that can accomplish these things. We can't hit a me and you, these days especially, we can't hit no 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So it's fun to watch a guy that can. Because it's special. Catching, like, that deal we're talking about with Edwin Evers, that creek, we go find that creek and we take our kids there because our kids can catch them. That's how easy it is.
Okay, so I was just finna point that out. I think more fishermen could go out to any body of water and find a creek and catch a bunch of 2-pound fish. Okay? And I think
it's harder to catch the bigger fish.
That's right.
It is. That's the bottom line. It's harder to catch the bigger fish. It's the bigger challenge in the sport. It's why we want to see the best in the world go do that.
Now, we're not bashing Edwin here. Props to Edwin for doing what you did.
Yeah.
You did what you needed to do based on that rule set. So congrats to you for doing that. I mean, I get that. I'm not. This ain't a trash Edwin deal. This is an example of
Edwin's
what
great.
happened.
Edwin's done it both ways. Like, Edwin's probably the best fisherman on planet Earth. Him and Jacob Wheeler are real close for that battle right now over the last year or two. Jared Lee was in there for a little while. He kind of slipped off towards the second part of last year, but you know, Edwin is playing the game that's presented to him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not his fault.
I mean, look, it's just like playing a golf tournament. And they say, well, you can tee off from here, or you can go up to the 100-yard marker and tee off, and you're laying 0.
Yeah.
What is everybody in the tournament going to do?
I don't want to see.
They're going to go up there and hit.
I don't want to see Tiger Woods tee off from up there if I'm trying to watch a good golf match. But if that's the rules,
I want to see him hit from the tee box over the water, bend it around the tree, and across the sand track.
I want to see him get put to the biggest test. But if the rules state that he can tee off from up there, he's going up there.
That's right.
And I ain't mad at him. Yeah. Yep, that's what it is, man. MLF is. I've said it this way. They've got the entire fishing world in the palm of their hands. They've got the best roster of fishing talent that has ever been assembled in the history of the sport, and they've got everything, all the tools right here, and they're just throwing it away. They're dropping the ball, and it's happening that way because they're operating from a negative place. They're operating out of spite and to prove a point instead of trying to do the best thing for the sport, the best thing for their anglers, the best thing for their fans, and the best thing at the end of the day for their product. They're hurting themselves right now.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate for all of us that are, fanboys of the sport, guys that are passionate about watching tournament bass fishing. You're getting less than what you could get because of their egos and their spite. It's a shame. It really is.
'Tis a shame.
Be that way sometimes.
It be like that sometimes.
Man. Well, this has been fun.
It's been a blast, dude. I appreciate you letting me come on the old podcast here.
Yeah, we will have to do it again for sure. We're going to keep talking about tournament fishing a lot because it is tournament season. But like we said, anything that you guys want to talk about, you guys want to hear us talk about, hey, let us know. We would love to do that. And you can send that via text to the number on the screen, 903-519-1542. Now, before we get out of here, I'm going to keep you around just a little bit. I'm going to kidnap you a little bit longer.
All right.
Because one thing that people don't know is,
my customers can wait. They only paid,
Are we out of time?
$240,000. No.
$240,000.
That's what they pay for the software I support.
Oh, okay. Well, they ain't paying you $240,000.
No,
okay.
Good. Would I be on this podcast with him if I was making $240,000 a year?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I'd be in my house. I'd be in my cabin on Toledo.
I'd be your personal full-time fishing guide. You'd have me on staff.
What you talking about? You'd be on the Z-Dub Pro staff.
That's it.
What do you get for being on the Z-Dub Pro staff? Nothing. Friendship.
Some crawfish.
Some crawfish, hand.
You can eat some crawfish with me on the
crawfish, some shrimp, some gumbo, some jambalaya.
So, most of the people probably won't know this, but Zach used to play professional minor league baseball.
Long time ago in another life.
You've got some pretty interesting stories Give us one good, crazy minor league baseball story. Give us one. I know you got a bunch of them.
Well,
give us one that we can actually talk about on this podcast. That may be the bigger challenge, is thinking of one where you can actually share it with this audience, because some of the ones we just can't go into.
Well, I'll just talk about the stigmata and the rumors you hear about professional athletes, even at the lowest level where I was. The best I made it to was AA, and all the things you hear about, a professional athlete. Now, I don't consider myself a professional athlete. I was at one time, but you hear about these things about, oh, these guys get this, these guys get that, so on and so forth.
What are we talking about? Free meals?
We talking about that and things,
women,
and things you can't talk about.
Free drinks.
I mean, look, when I was in New York playing for the White Sox, I never paid for a drink. I never paid for a meal. Now, I was the kind of guy, because look, people just know. I knew I was never going to make the Hall of Fame. And make the big time.
You were just enjoying it while they still let you play.
I mean, yeah, as long as they let me. I mean, especially when I got passed over the year I led the league in home runs, doubles, RBIs, I stayed where I was, and a guy from rookie ball went to AAA because he signed a big rookie contract, and they said, well, let's whatever. Well, that's Sunguns Holland Pulpwood, now.
Yeah.
But I was always
Do we need to go into this? You seem like you might have some
No.
a little bit of feelings you're holding back there about this guy getting passed over.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out that everything you hear, all the rumors that you think you might know, they all true, okay? Politics plays a lot bigger role than talent when it comes to that.
Is that right?
100%.
Interesting. I would think at a professional level it would be about the dude that can get it, but it's not.
Look, you got a guy that can get it who's signed for X amount of dollars, and I'm talking about low end five figures, $10,000, $12,000, and he's made it up to AA, and he's still balling. If they draft back then, now this was back then. I have no idea how it is nowadays. Back then, they draft a guy in the first 5 rounds and pay him $500,000 signing bonus.
Yeah, he gets a big contract.
And he literally lays eggs in rookie ball, but he gets promoted to AAA. Now, I know this because it was my same position. He played the same thing I did. He hit in the same spot in the lineup that I did in rookie ball, but I'm in AA. And I lead the league in home runs, RBIs, doubles, okay? But he gets the bump to AAA, and I stayed.
They had the investment.
They had the investment in him. But anyway,
there's a little bit of that factor of, in that situation, it seems like, and I have no inside experience. I'm just outside looking in here. But it seems like there's a little bit of that factor where, especially in baseball, you don't really know. Like, you think this guy's going to be good. Like, if you're the guy making that decision at the top, you got all these prospects in your system, and you think this guy's going to be good, you think this guy's potential, you draft him, you spend the money, and then you got another guy that's performing well at a AA level, and this guy's doing good here, but you think this guy's going to be good, and you think this guy might be good too, but you got all this money tied up in this guy. Mm-hmm. Because the bottom line is, until you go up there and face that next level, you don't know what that guy's really going to do.
That's right.
Same thing when guys get caught up into the bigs. There's a lot of, this is the hottest prospect in baseball. They get up there and suck when they get to the majors. People are wrong about that stuff in drafting and all that all the time. So, yeah, that sucks though. To be the guy that there's only so many opportunities that team's going to give out at the higher level, and to be outperforming a guy that gets an opportunity, that would suck.
Well, one positive, it allowed me to get back down to the South where I could hunt and fish. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as I was saying, I was the kind of guy that after every game, I don't care if I went 0 for 4 with 4 backwards Ks, or I went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and a home run. I always made my way down the fence and signed every autograph for every little kid I should, or I could. Well, you don't realize it when you're doing it, because there's literally hundreds of people up against the fence, and most of them are little kids with adults standing behind them. But every time you sign an autograph, you feel this. You feeling this all the time. You feel your shirt getting tugged on, and you eventually just block it out and keep signing. You get back to the locker room, and you unbutton and taking your jersey off, and 37 pieces of paper falls out. Meet me here. Call me. This,
phone number.
that. Yeah.
Holla at your girl.
Yeah.
Or holla at your boy these days. Who knows?
Look. But you know, I would highly recommend never ever take them up on that, because you don't know what, because
you know it's a random draw.
You downside. I mean, you may go to the bar and I mean, Erica's it's a sexy sounding name, or Jesse, or Jesse spelled with an I. Alexis. You know, hey Alexis, come meet me at whatever the name of the bar is. Yeah. You show up and Alexis is about as wide as that TV, and you like,
what did I get myself into?
So I never did that because I was engaged at the time, so I never did any of that. But I had a couple of buddies on the team that would always follow up on them little phone number requests, and
I could see that.
I would say 1 out of every 16 worked out. Yeah, you know, to where it was okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Hey, here's a cool story though. And this is a
pause 1 second, because what you're talking about is actually funny. I was in the Marine Corps, and I never got to experience this, but word has it, the word on the street amongst the Marine Corps is that when you go on a float, which you get on a naval ship and travel around, whatever, when you pull into port in Australia, apparently Australian women are all about dudes from other places, and they tell you
same thing about China.
They tell you to bring your baseball glove when you go on a float to Australia, because when you pull into port, there's literally women throwing tennis balls up on the deck of the ship with their name and phone number on it. That was what I was told.
Well, that sounds like the land of make-believe right there. That's just way too good to be true, because you know them Aussie girls.
There's some good-looking ones over there. Yes, sir. All right, tell me your story.
Okay, so I don't even remember the name of the park I played at up in New York. Our home field, it was I can't remember. But the home dugout, okay, just picture a dugout. You've seen a dugout, right? You got the bench, you got the back wall, and then you got the roof coming over it. And usually right behind that roof is row 1, all right? I don't know who designed this park. It had to be, you know, a sexual predator or something, because our dugout was built out of cinder blocks. Okay. So the top row by the roof, the cinder blocks were turned with the hole.
You could see
up all the little mini skirts.
This angle right here.
I can't tell you how many times we'd get a bat and we'd kind of like, you know, just kind of ease it and just kind of nudge and watch people go to jump. Oh man, that was. Yeah. There's a story for you right there.
That's pretty good stuff. I can totally see you over tickling some dude's inner calf.
I mean, look, you'd be like this.
You're watching the game. What the?
You'd be like this, and you'd notice a mini skirt. You'd be like, oh Lord, and then you kind of go like this and peek over there and duck out and go, oh no. But sometimes you'd be like, ooh,
hey,
D-Zam.
Hey, how you doing?
You know.
Well, I think that all.
Look, I didn't design the park.
Yeah.
I just utilized the tools.
Like I
just utilized the tools like Edwin did.
And 1-pounders. You're just playing the game as it's presented to you, baby. I think that is a great note for us to end on right there. Zito, thank you so much for joining us today, man. I appreciate you doing it with me. Hey, thank all of you guys for listening or watching or however you're consuming. You can catch us on iTunes or pretty much any podcast outlet, Podbean, whatever. Also on YouTube as well. Thank all of y'all, most importantly. We appreciate you guys a whole bunch for hanging out with us. Hopefully we entertained you. I know we didn't.
Fat Roo, they're snoring it up. So
he's got the fattest. So for those listening, you can't see this, but he's got the fattest non-bird chasing Labrador Retriever in that kitchen, and she is letting it rip on some snoring.
I can't believe. I'd be surprised if they don't hear it.
She's getting after it. Hey, thank you guys very much, and we will catch you next time on the Fish Life Podcast.
This highway does not know my name, and I don't care. No.